Hey guys, what's up? We are obviously going to be reacting to the Kirby Air Riders Direct today. We're just going to be sitting and starting soon until it actually starts, since their live stream doesn't start for another 5 minutes. So we're just going to sit here and wait for that and chill. Now, disclaimer, I have never played Kirby's Air Ride. I don't think I've even seen footage of Kirby's Air Ride. I think there might have been another Kirby racing game I haven't seen or played that one either. So this is all new to me, but I figured, you know, why not? Let's just see how good this is going to be. This is going to be 40 minutes, I think. This stream is 40 minutes, so that's kind of, I expect them to show a lot, right? And I don't know if this was just random hearsay or if this was like actually something that was said in, like, Sakurai himself said. But allegedly, Sakurai said he would do another Smash, but only if he was allowed to make a sequel to Kirby's Air Ride, right? I feel like I heard that somewhere. I don't know if that was like fake or if he actually said that. So this is why we have this game, and hopefully he actually does something crazy with this. Like, how much shade is he gonna throw at Mario Kart because of this, right? Like, is Mario Kart about to be, like, just obliterated by this? Or no? Again, because I've never actually even seen Kirby's Air Ride, like the first game before. Well, I've probably, like, seen, like, seconds of it, right? But not anything too in-depth. Yes, I'm interested to see how this fares against Mario Kart or just like racers in general, and possibly how much it's going to cost. Is it going to be like another $80 game, or is it just going to be the typical 60 or 70? And 70 is already, like, that's too far, but, like, is it going to be 60, 70, or 80? Or is it going to be, like, 40, like a miracle 40, like Sakurai does something crazy, and it's like, oh yeah, it's only 40 bucks. The craziest thing, they'd be like, oh, it's free to play, right? But that's not going to happen. I mean, none of that really matters, because it's not like I have a Switch 2. Maybe one of those scenarios where I just don't get the console ever, because I think the like, life and money has just not aligned to make that happen. So I think we might have to wait for a Switch 3 in, like, what, 10 years? So Switch 2 lasted about, like, what, 7 or 8 years? If the Switch 2 is as successful, you could argue that it could last just as long, or maybe even longer, like 10 years. So, like, maybe in 10 years when the Switch 3 comes out, maybe we'll talk. Like, maybe, like, Nintendo will, like, not be so harsh too, because again, I feel like I'm kind of, like, against them right now because of the Power World stuff and the $80 games and whatnot. So actually, who knows if, like, in 10 years I'll buy a Switch 3 if that exists. We got, like, a less than a minute now, so I don't know if we should go on over there. I have the stream up, but nothing's happened yet. We're just still sitting here. I don't actually know how long we have until it starts. That's also not counting whether or not they'll have their own timer. I mean, that would suck, right? Hopefully that's not the case, and it just goes straight into the stream. There's no reason for them to, like, make us wait any longer right after it starts, so it just hit 8 o'clock for me. So, is it going to start? I mean, it is live. There we go. The lyrics? There was not lyrics in the reveal trailer. Always making a game so hard. I was expecting it to be subtitled. I mean, it's Sakurai, so it makes sense. Should I be reading this? This is original. Question on why we call this game Kirby Air Riders. Maybe I can just lower the volume. Oh. Yeah, I guess you choose a new rider, not choose your rider. Rider collection. I'm just turn it down and like talk over him, so you can actually don't have to watch. Light and floaty friends for Kirby. I probably should be watching this. King DDD. Meta Knight, of course. Waddle Dee. Obviously, those are all like the basic guys you would think would be in a game like this. Chef Kawasaki. I'm not familiar. I haven't played too many Kirby games. I've only watched so much Kirby, so I don't know. Even though there was 2 other characters in previous game, Kirby was basically your only rider. Kirby could ride on various machines in that game. This time around, you can also have fun with each character's unique traits. How we got here. You might be wondering why I ended up creating a new Kirby Air Ride game. There's a strong request from Mr. Takahashi, head of software development at Nintendo, and Mr. Mitsuhara, the president of HAL Laboratory Inc. at the time. At the time, I was working on the DLC for Smash Ultimate, and wasn't really able to get around to the request, but I managed to complete a written proposal at high speed. I actually mentioned this on my YouTube channel, so I hope you check that video out. The developer of the game is Bandai Namco Inc., not HAL Studios. Okay, that's worrying. My company, Sora, and Bandai, also worked on Smash together, so... Move on to the main topic. Okay, what is Kirby, right? Original is widely viewed as a racing game featuring Kirby. You'll be asking yourself if it's basically Mario Kart. You race and battle with familiar characters around courses with different features, or so they say. What are you saying? Or so they say. Okay, so this basically is like Mario Kart. I even mentioned this when I received this request to make the game. I asked them if they still wanted to do it. But as fans of the original know, the appeal of the game is actually not the races. Anyway, I'm going to show the first look of the game. Here it is. It looks really fast. So he's going to go into more detail. How to ride. Here go over the basics of riding. This part is important, so pay attention. These are air ride machines, or machines for short, and they have different forms and traits. The characters who ride them are not called drivers, they're known as riders. Why is it very amiibo? The machines usually float a little above the ground, like they're hovering. They also move forward automatically. So there's no need to press any button to accelerate. You don't need to tilt the left stick forward either, so please be mindful of that. As you're racing forward, you can change direction by tilting the sticks. You use one button for the controls. This is called a boost charge. Press a button, the machine hits the ground, and you'll start a boost charge and then brake. Simultaneously, if you hold the down button, you'll start charging up. But if you're just racing forward, there's really not much use in pressing the button. If you come across a sharp corner, tilt the stick all the way to the side while pressing the button, and start drifting and sliding along the ground. It's important to keep boosting. Build to charge, then when you exit the curve, let loose. I mean, it's just like drifting in Mario Kart. By repeatedly charging through drifts, you can move forward really fast. Those are the basics. To recap, when racing forward, you don't need to use the stick. You just need to tilt the stick left and right to change directions, of course. Also, most of the machines can glide. There aren't any specific flying areas. If you jump from a ramp, you'll fly through the air like a glider. Tilt the stick forward toward you, in other words, all the way up, making you fly upwards, yep. By tilting the stick up, the nose will point toward the ground and you'll descend. So in racing normally, don't continue to tilt the stick forward. Otherwise you'll suddenly fall off the ramp. When you're landing, try to do it gracefully and be parallel with the ground. If you land perfectly, you'll get an extra burst of speed. Whether you're steering or flying, it's important that you use the controls carefully. The previous game, you used a single button for everything. This time, we've added a second button, unfortunately. This is to expand the game's depth. In contrast to the boost charge button, which propels the machine forward, we're calling this the special button. Below the boost gauge is a special gauge. Press the special button once the gauge is full and it will unleash a special move. Each rider has a different one, of course. Some specials increase your speed while others unleash attacks. Special collection. Thanks for showing us all the specials. Of course, Kirby has that Link special. DDD has the hammer, but is he going to swing that at the end? He's just going fast. Of course, he's doing that move, though. They just seem like they're all making them go faster. I don't know about Kirby's, but like that move made him go faster, too. This obviously is not, though. It's just an offensive one. Yeah, a lot of these are just like, go faster forward. Yeah, it's just literally just go faster. Only Kirby has 4 specials. Ultra Sword, Burn, Crash, and Snowball. I mean, Kirby is the main character after all. Might have also spotted Cappy making an appearance. Even mushrooms can race in Kirby Air Riders. Oh, the special button has another important function, but we'll get to that later. Lessons. You learn about the different racing techniques, including the ones I just went over in lessons. Just tutorial stuff. Before you start racing, it'd be a good idea to try them out. Once you've completed all the lessons, you can master all the techniques in the game. It seems pretty simple now. Even with the extra button, it seems simple, so it must have been like extra simple back in the day. So each machine performs differently. So the Warp Star was like neutral, that can glide better than the other ones. It can't boost, but it gets pushed up higher in the other ones. Wheelie races ahead on a single wheel, an interesting design compared to Star-type machines. That does not tell us anything about it, so. Attacks cause major damage even on a single hit. And does some air stuff. Paper Star. The big acceleration, nice flights. It's not just about basic stats like speed or how well the machine can turn, the behavior also changes. Bulk Star. For example, with the Bulk Star, you can charge the fuel during a race. Swerve Star. Can only accelerate and stop. If you boost charge, you'll come to a hard stop, so you can boost charge and turn then speed off. Is that viable? In previous games, there were two types of machines, star type and bike type. We're adding some new types. Chariot. Safe and stable ride. It runs on 2 wheels and it's pretty stable. Also looks cool. They look like there's damage to these things, so I don't know if that's like F-Zero. Tank Star. Even while you're boosting, you'll propel straight forward without slowing down. You'll then boost dash in the direction you're facing. That's similar to the other one. It also has high durability, like to the one that stops and starts. Funnily enough, the machines also have their own something. It's part of the game's charm. Additionally, depending on the in-game rules, machines can end up half broken. When that happens, they'll actually get a speed boost. This can also help you get out of a tough spot. Though, can they actually explode? In the previous game, while you could play as Meta Knight and DDD, you couldn't choose the machines. Here you have the freedom to change the machines. Good for them. There are other riders too. Oh, extra people. Do they have stats? I don't know if he said stats. Megalore. Just like what everyone's here of like the Kirby universe, possibly. Gooey as Gooey. I mean, that would be funny, right? If he pulled like everyone's here, just like Smash. What'll do? I forget, everyone has like different specials. I wasn't even looking at that. Knuckle Joe, so it's like all the enemies. Is this like Mario Kart World where they just added a bunch of different enemies? Susie. Depending on the weight, each rider will have an impact on their machine's performance. So it's kind of just like, it's just more stuff that's like Mario Kart World, or not Mario, just Mario Kart in general. So the wagon gets smaller if Kirby rides it, and bigger if DDD rides it. How curious that the size of the machines change. You can imagine Kirby has better boosts and can turn faster, while DDD has increased top speed, attack power, and durability. The racing performance isn't the only thing that changes. For example, DDD and Meta Knight can also perform close range attacks. Just get close to an enemy and they'll automatically strike. Cappy's hat works as a shield and can withstand some attacks. Machines are very intricate, so it's a good idea to select a rider that complements each one. Of course, you'll want to consider the courses and rules as well. That's why in air ride mode, you'll select the course first, then the machine and rider. But if you can select your rider, you might be wondering, isn't Kirby the only one who can use copy abilities? This game is in the Kirby series, which means Kirby can obtain different copy abilities from enemies. This skill is unique to him, but that would create an advantage over the other riders and also create too much of a gap in the fun. So here we made it so that other riders can also use copy abilities. All riders can have copy hats. Wait, he went that far? Yes, we did. Copy ability. Press the boost charge button to release fireballs. That's just fire. Sword. Obviously slashes. There's just a bunch of like random stuff in this field. Bomb. Wheel. Mic. Cutter. Jets. Steel ball. The copy abilities are like the power-ups in Kart. By the way, the plasma copy ability no longer requires you to flick the stick to charge it up. It now charges automatically. Maybe that's just you'll boost to unleash it. Copy abilities aren't just for attacking either. There are ones that also increase your speed. To catch enemies with copy abilities, boost charge when they're directly in front of you. In other words, press a button. Root and held them, but the other riders can catch them with a move called Capture. Example, Chef can capture enemies with a ladle. Did he eat them though? Like, Gooey just ate them though. If you capture an enemy without a copy ability, you'll launch it as a star projectile. Also, when you defeat an enemy wandering through a course, you'll get small stars and accelerate. It's more beneficial to defeat enemies. You'll want to launch star-shaped projectiles from captured enemies, copy abilities, and so on to defeat enemies. Depending on the rules, some of the riders might even wander around by themselves. Here, we casually revealed a newly added character, Starman. I don't know who this is. Similar to the Mushroom Cappy, this character was originally a weak enemy. Not all of the riders are major characters. We focus on the individuality of each participating. Let me take the opportunity to say this: I hope more people realize how cute Starman is. Okay, just air ride, and maybe that's like the mode, I guess. First, let me explain air ride mode. In other words, races. Riders and machines bursting with personality will compete to cross the finish line first. Each race is limited to a maximum of 6 riders. Technically, we can have more participants, but we kept the pool small. I think that 6 is the right balance to be able to better compete for first place. After all, too many participants in this game can be something, and your chances of winning can shrink. Be messy, as we said. For now, let's try doing just 1 lap. So he's going to play. There's a lot of action that will happen, so I suggest moving away from the screen a bit, or making it smaller. Race on the ocean course. Wave flow waters. Ocean courses in racing games with familiar characters tend to have blue oceans. Music with Latin American themes or are styled like relaxing resorts. But in Kirby Air Riders, it's not that calm. Please take a look. So it's just like a mix of F-Zero and Mario Kart. I don't think we need to like take his commentary for this. We can just actually watch. So we have parting waves here. I think it's in last place right now, right? He let everyone take the head spot. Like, the encoding is not doing the game any justice. If there's so much particle effects and stuff on the ground, on the screen, that it's actually hard to see anything. Obviously, if you're actually playing the game, it'll probably be like pretty crazy, but... I was expecting them to go inside though, yeah? The water there. I mean, that was actually really fast. It was just one race, is it not like multiple races? Yeah, I think it is just kind of like F-Zero combined with Mario Kart, right? Just fast. The course feels very dense, and along with the music, I think it's designed really well. There's going to be like a behind. There isn't a whole lot of repetition, and as you race through the courses, you'll find new things, is what he said. Florida Fields? Well, Florida confirmed in Mario Kart? What the heck? What do you mean Florida Fields? I mean, I guess it's Floria. I'm like dyslexiing it. It was at Floria, I think, not in Florida. Cavernous Corners. Siberian Highway. Yeah, but yeah, the last race was pretty quick, but I feel like if I'm playing this, I would want the courses to last a long time, not just like, okay, we played the course for a minute, it's already over. Mount Amber Falls. Probably a lot of places that people are like, oh my god, I love that area in the Kirby, but I haven't played enough Kirby to have any nostalgia or know for any of this. I used some techniques while racing just now, but I'd like to introduce a couple that are vital to helping you win. First, Star Slide. Each machine scatters stars during a race, and if you collect these stars, you'll speed up. Click drafting. So those in the back have an advantage. You'll want to stay on the racing lines your rivals are using. Then, use your attack. You attack rivals. Get the little stars that appear when you hit opponents, and you'll get a boost and whatnot. Other words, do stuff. The speed boost, yep. The game lets you attack. Getting in the way of other machines or slowing them down isn't the main focus. The impact when you take damage is also minor. In this game, you'll compete by getting speed boost via staying on your rival's tails and attacking. And now, here's what happens. You're playing online with friends. You can jump into another session right after you complete a race. You don't have to wait for others to finish the race. I mean, people are fine with that, yeah. Quality of life, so you can keep playing. Playing with machines, probably like the stats and whatnot. Turbo Star. Slick Star. I guess there's even more things. Rocket Star. Rex Wheelie. Battle Chariot, like one of the newer types. Texture seemed a bit weird, like a bit like low res, which is kind of weird. Did they originally make this for like Switch 1? In Air Raid mode, you can adjust the in-game's rules such as the number of laps, and also slow down the game speed. This is ideal for new players. This game's average cruising speed is a little higher than the previous game, so if you feel like it's too much, try slowing it down. Also in Air Raid mode, you generally can't destroy other machines, but you can enable the option in the settings. It's kind of lame that it's not like that by default. Let's jump into City Trial. This is the main event. I imagine fans of Kirby Air Ride were waiting for this. Previous game, City Trial took place on a map with a given amount of space. Here, it's still a sandbox, but it looks weird this time. It's set on a floating island. It's the only city trial map. It's the only city trial map. Some players will probably spend a lot of time here. As a sandbox, Skya does have borders, but it has different areas contained within. Just one map for that mode. It seems a bit weird, but maybe people are fine with that. Because that overhead looked kind of small. Or not small, but like, I don't know what you're supposed to be doing here, so maybe it's fine. Is it like battle mode? Here's an overview of how City Trial works. You'll freely drive around Skya, swap to enemy machines you find, and collect power-ups scattered throughout. Time limit is 5 minutes. I assume hopefully you can increase that. After that, you'll head to stadiums. You'll take your powered machine to one of the stadiums, each with their own features, and compete to win. Okay. That's the gist of it, but first a note about multiplayer. Previous game up to 4 could play in split screen, but now up to 16 can play City Trial. Of course, the game supports online play. You can also play with friends with local wireless. Local wireless, 8 players. You can add computers up to 16. So there are more participants. The map is also bigger than last time. I mean, it still looks pretty small by that. And despite there being more participants, it's also fun to play solo. So it might be good to experiment and add the number of computer-controlled players you want. Yeah, this seems interesting. Just Sky itself. Now I'll briefly talk about fighting on Sky with the 5-minute time limit as well as the general flow. Yep, select the rider. Select your machine. Instead, you'll start with a small machine. The compact. Actually, you don't select your machine. It's easy to handle, but it's weak. So everyone just has the same thing at the beginning. So I guess make it fair. But you again try to find another machine to swap to as fast as you can. So you're looking for a better one. Machine that's occupied is known as an empty machine. One important note. I mentioned earlier that there's a new button. You press a special button while facing an empty machine. You can jump straight from one machine to the other without fully dismounting. If you're on a compact star on your machine, it is about to break. You can swap machines by simply bumping into an empty one. Previous game, you also had to dismount your machine. You're actually walking around. We've come to a long way since then, huh? That being said, you can dismount your machine by pressing and holding down the special button. You can just walk around. You can also steal an opponent's machine if theirs is about to break. Does he get his health back? Finding power-ups. All sorts of power-ups. They can increase your speed and all that stuff. Just stats. So this one I wanted to say, because I didn't have the time to say it, was Kirby Air Ride like the first Battle Royale? Because this mode kind of seems like Battle Royale-ish. Once you find a box, use moves like Quick Spin to break it. Basically a stick shake. Rapidly moving the stick. Also use attack items to go after opponents and steal the power-ups they drop. Machine breaks, you can still run and jump with your rider. However, you should find an empty machine and grab it as soon as you can. I wonder if you don't have a machine at the end, you just like lose, or maybe they'll give you like the baby one. Different areas across Sky, you will swap out machines and collect power-ups to get stronger. Race events also occur throughout. Make it thrown for a loop. Yeah, that's kind of silly. Or suddenly get lots of power-ups. Yeah, I swear like this might have been like the very first Battle Royale. I'll introduce some new events that stand out in particular. When these events pop up, a starting area will appear somewhere on the map. Make sure to hustle on over there. Isn't, of course, not participating in events is also a strategy. If you get there early, you can keep collecting power-ups until it starts. Like a Elden Ring Night Rain? It's very like that, right? So this is just the short race stuff. That's like a section off zone. From an outsider perspective, all short race participants appear as ghosts. So race is complete, participants will obtain power-ups depending on their ranking. In Dust Up, those who enter the starting area will battle each other, so it's just like a fight. Obviously those who raise their battle stats will already have an advantage. So like flying usually have a higher something, but they have low durability, so be careful. Even if you're at a disadvantage, it might be good to power up by participating. If you're knocked out in Derby, you'll be out of the running, but your machine won't be destroyed. Your durability will recover, and you can resume exploring. Power rewards here too. So even if you don't do well, I think it's still worth it to participate. Probably. There's also events where bosses will appear, like Krakow, for example. Dynablade also returns from the previous game, kind of almost like a Ho-Oh. City Trail Field Event. But yeah, like, was that the very first Battle Royale that's ever made? Like the original Kirby Air Ride, and we just never knew? Because like no one's ever talked about Kirby Air Ride like that, but that mode there apparently is just like straight from the original, and that seems very Battle Royale-ish. Like go onto a map, it collects things that make you stronger, and then fight it out. By the way, it's not a good idea to just blindly collect as many power-ups as you can. Depending on the stadium type, there are instances where you still want to be able to easily handle your machine, so try to make sure that machine and collect the power-ups match. You prioritize increasing your top speed. A decrease in weight can lower your defense as a result, so opposite forces can come into play. As you're busy zooming around sky, the 5 minutes will quickly fly by. Then, while you're confirming your machine's stats, riders are sent to the stadium. Machine might be really fast, unmatched in the air, powerful in battles, or skilled with tight turns, for example. Make sure you take a close look at your stats. 5 minutes up, now I'll introduce some of the stadiums where the winner is decided. Look, stadiums aren't the maps from earlier. It's different, possibly different mini games. I'm guessing like this. This is just a brawl in a circle. Very battle mode in Mario Kart, right? Air glider. Launch off and jump, ramp and fly as far as you can. Okay, it's just it's one of those game modes. Yeah, they're all little mini games. Drag race. I'm guessing just go as fast as possible. Yeah, just go as fast as you possible in a straight line. Saw this one earlier. Just fly and try to get a good number. We already know about dust stuff, right? Skydive. Oh, a dropper map. This looks like it's taken straight out of Ring Fit Adventure. This falling down and getting the rings. Gourmet race. Gobble up as much of the feast as you can. I could just collect food. Something like being fast would be good for that. There are a lot of different competitions. Naturally, the machine you created will have its advantages and disadvantages. Stadiums are usually chosen at random from a large pool. If there are 16 participants, your chances of winning are only 1 in 16. Some video games have 100 players competing with each other. Battle Royale. So maybe it's not something I need to worry about, but having a low chance of winning is something. Also, I wouldn't want players... He said winning is tough. I'm just going to read that with delay. Also, I wouldn't want players to have a chance of winning with the machine they made, because the stadiums are random. Is it the ambiguity that makes it fun? Being light and vague on the details has its charms. Anyway, we came up with a way so that any machine can compete to some extent. You can choose the stadium you want to compete in from these 4. Pick the one you like, based on factors like your machine or the power-up you obtained. Also made sure that the stadium options vary. Depending on how you build your machine, some stadiums will be recommended. So if you're having trouble making a decision, pick these ones. All participants will choose from the same pool of 4 stadiums, but you won't know who chose which stadium until whatever. The mind games have already begun. You have a machine that excels at flying, then picking a flying machine-based stadium is the strategy, but if you see that an opponent has an even better flying machine, another strategy is avoiding them by selecting a speed-based or obstacle-filled stadium. Of course, there is a third strategy where the opponent with the superior flying machine picks the speed-based stadium instead of to catch up opponents off guard. This is quite fun indeed. Okay, let's do a solo run of City Trial against computer-controlled players. Okay, he's going to play the game now. It's going to add 11 to make it a 12 player. There's always something different happening, so I hope we end up with something that looks good on camera. I'm going to focus on exploration, and I'm off. I think I'll just not... I'm ignoring his commentary now, I'll just commentate on what he's doing. So he went for this wing glider off the bat. That again, like this is just Kirby Battle Royale, which again apparently this was in the original game like 20 years ago. So again, possibly the very first Battle Royale ever made was Kirby Air Ride.
野良で落ちてるようなものも見つけつつ、あ、そこに今度イベントが起こるんですけど、今
Event is happening.
空を飛びやすくなったみたいです。飛びやすくなったから、これだったらプーッと結構初期能力なのに上の方まで行けそうですね。なかなかいいかもしれない。ちょっと地下街とか見てみましょうかね。空飛びやすくなってるのになんだっけ。
I didn't really think about the underground stuff because like they showed us like a lot of underground stuff. The map, I mean, the mall, the caves. So you can argue this kind of like double, like two maps because you have the underground and the above ground area.
自分の邪魔してどうするんだっていう感じですけど、こういうところ通るとスカイアが空を浮く島ということがよくわかりますね。ついでにこういう環状線も紹介しておきますけれども、駅をつなぐ環状線がこうやってあるんです。
They kind of like takes you all around the map. It looks like they run around on the outside.
ここに入力をしておくと左の方ですね、赤い線になって途中下車ができるというような要素もあります。レアコンテナ珍しい。と言ってる間にデスマッチが始まってしまった。ウィングスターだとめちゃくちゃ不利だから、ここは
I switched to the wagon. He's going to a derby.
まあワゴンでもよくはないけど、ウィングよりはいい。そしてデスマッチはこの中に入場してきた人たちで戦い合うわけですけれども、相手を倒した時の報酬と、自分の順位による報酬の2つがあります。まあだからとにかく稼ぐためには相手をよく倒した方がいいし、1人目そして、自分がなるべく長く生き残った方がいいっていうことですね。この落ちているアイテムなんかを駆使してなんとか頑張っていこうというようなマッハをかけます。2人目ラッキー。結構ここで3人目4人目、うわーこれ儲かりすぎでは。とどめちょっと強いんじゃないの？すんごい儲かる。
I wonder if you can fall off a map there because he kind of got pretty close to the edge. I don't know if there's like guardrails for that or not. I'm guessing this is why this video was supposed to be like 40 minutes, right? He's played one race earlier, now he's doing like a full one of these. I forget what City Tron, it's called City Tron. Okay, so he can definitely fall off the map if he's like that far out. Off the map there. It seems like you could just fly. He doesn't want you to know about the thing above in the sky. Isn't this coming out soon? Or actually, I don't know if we had a release date for this. Oh, so this was like 5 minutes. I feel like we've been here for like 10. Like, how has it not been 5 minutes yet? Yeah, because this is just the charging up phase. He switched to the wing thing. He can just like cheat. And you can just see the Gordos just... like fade into existence. I remember he got off the thing there. To go through the big power-ups that the Gordos dropped, I think they drop power-ups and they die. But I guess if every machine can fly, like falling off the map doesn't really matter because you can just fly back up, right? Or it's like the winged ones, the only ones who have like really good flying like this.
決まるという。飛行13、そして加速も12。やっぱり飛行で攻めるべきですかね。重たさも上がってるので、反面防御力とか少しずつ。
It's been like 40
だから何でもいけるな。
minutes by now, so I'm assuming it's gonna be over once he's done with this.
やっぱりおすすめ。
I mean, obviously, he should be the air glider one, but I don't know what he's trying to do, like strategy against AI. You assume he's gonna win no matter what. I mean, at least he picked like a recommended one.
2回のチャレンジで、
He's obviously gonna go try to get the 100, which he had no trouble getting. The speed of his glider.
見ての通り100にはシャッターがついていまして、そのシャッタ
So it
ー
seems
の
like
タイミングによって
they
は全然狙っても
go away when someone selects them.
注意が必要ですね。
It looks like you get a little bit of points even if you fall off.
他の人たちの様子を見てみようかしら。
So you're seeing what they do, weirdly.
また100を狙う。もちろん先に取られてまずいねこのタイミング。
Okay.
危ない。
See, he almost messed up there, but he dropped himself down to try to get in there.
そして下の方カービィがちょこちょこ走ってますね。
I mean, like he got 200s in a row, so that's basically just free.
はい、1位。はい、お疲れ様でした。ナックルジョーが、ライトスターに乗ってますね。これは、スタジアムに入る前にマシンが壊されたりなかったりするとライトスターに持ち去れ
Okay, so he just answered the question there. I was like, what happens if you don't have a ride when you go into this? And it's like you just get the compact one.
シティトライアルでした。
Yeah, but is there more fights after that, or is that it? You get one thing and that's it. Items will get replaced if you pick up a new one, but you can also reserve one item in use and hang on to it. Yeah, it went over there. How do you do that though? You can't reserve copy abilities since you use those on the spot. But items can be stored in reserve and automatically appear once your current item is used. However, it'll be the same capacity as it was when you use it, when you last had it. So if you use half of it, it'll return half. If it's empty, it'll vanish without going into reserve. Regarding stadiums, there are instances where it'll automatically be selected for all players. This works just like the previous game where you don't get to choose a stadium. Sometimes an alert will pop up before City Trials begins. At other times, you might just all end up together. If there's an alert, everyone will bolt for the machines that have the advantage in the particular game. Prediction codex hint at what stadium it will be. You want an air glider for it. This time around, if you look closely, you might be able to spot the false information. So sometimes there's false information. Up to 8 players can enter one stadium. Stadium is popular and has more than 8 participants. It'll automatically divide them into 2 groups. Now here's a question for you. What happens if you end up being the only player who picked the stadium? You had no competition, a major win. After that, though, you can still battle computer-controlled players who have your opponent's stats. Even if you win or lose against them, you'll still be crowned the winner. If playing online, you can jump to another session once you're done, just like in air raid mode. So go ahead and play. If there are fewer players, you can vote for which stadium will be selected via a lottery. You can also make it random like in the previous game, so play around with the rules. Some of them have variation even if they are the same type. This is also something that can keep you occupied. City Trial, the mode beloved by fans for many years, is back again in Kirby Air Riders. Even though we're in the 2020s. Hope you're looking forward to it. main theme. What, the soundtrack? Yeah, this thing, the English version of the main theme. I'm just gonna talk over that because copyright. I assume there's copyrighted on this already on YouTube. So you heard a little bit of this in the intro, but this time around there's a main theme. It takes the joy of being together with your machine and expresses that as a song. It will be released on Nintendo Music later today, along with some other tracks. So please give it a listen if you're interested. So the only issue I have with the game so far is that we'll get to it after this. So did it come through that this isn't just a humorous racing game? The original game was released over 20 years ago, but I think there's a fun to be had that feels refreshing, novel and unique all at the same time. That's all for today, but there are still a lot of things we weren't able to cover. I do want to share the other wonderful aspects of the game, so I hope you will look forward to that. See you later. I'm not going to give us a release date or like what? But yeah, the only issue I've seen so far is that this is on the Switch 2, and yet some of these graphics and not particle effects, but just textures are so low resolution that it's like, what happened with that? Is this on the Switch 1 or like Switch 1 as well? Or is this like a cheap game? Like it's not $60? Like I'm not like wanting to be like obsessed with graphics or anything. It's just they're so low. In some of those areas, it's like, why are these buildings just a cube with like this lattice graphics? So some sort of new spooky writer there. No clue who that's supposed to be. I don't know the lore. Like Kirby. So 11/20/2025. So the day before my birthday. Literally the day before my birthday. Let's pause it there. I don't know if there's going to be anything after this. Okay, no, that's probably it. I'll just pause the video there and hopefully that's good. Yeah, again, seems cool. Like if I had a Switch 2 and the game, I would probably try to play it. Day one. The issue is like, how much is it? Because again, like a lot of those settings and textures look like very old. Like could have been on the GameCube, but obviously not everything. Like particle effects and a lot of the stuff looks really nice, but sometimes it's like, wait, why does this look so outdated for like just a little racing game that's on the Switch 2? You'd think it'd be stronger, especially if there's like a potential like love project from Sakurai. I would expect it to not be so low res, but I don't know. I guess that's just how things are. Well, this again, I need to say a price for this. I'm assuming 40, or you could hope for 40, right? I don't know if like Nintendo would be mad about that. It's like how could you undercut us like that, Sakurai? But I guess we'll have to see. But yeah, it looks cool. Again, if I had a Switch 2 and money, I mean, if I had money, I would give it a try. But it's not the case, so oh well. Yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Remember to buy my stickers and think about becoming a member. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed, because we're working on watch time and subscribers, and shout out to the members: EmmyStarr, RaleyDrew, and alexgkiller 880. But guys, thanks for watching. Tune into the next episode. Like, subscribe, comment. With a do. See ya.